Hello, friends. This is JT Tapias with an idol called food. This podcast is sponsored by EYBPlanFuel.com. EYBPlanFuel.com supplements that make a significant difference in your day-to-day and allow you to show up as the best version of yourself. Go to EYBPlanFuel.com and get a 10% discount on any order with promo code PH413. PH413. Get a 10% discount on any order. Without further ado, let's jump into today's subject. Today, I want to speak with you about a concept that is a very simple concept, but yet a very powerful one that has made a significant difference in my life. The title is Boring Will Make You Healthy, Wealthy, and Happy. Boring will make you healthy, wealthy, and happy. I don't know if I got your attention, but please hear me out because this has made a significant difference in my life. And I want to be able to share this concept that came to me through a client, someone that I was working with on the floor at the time at the gym when I had the gyms in Tampa. And it was this gentleman that I was working with for about 3 years. He would always show up on time, 10 minutes early all the time. He'd show up, warm up. He would work hard for 45 minutes. And he was just always super disciplined and hardworking. I got to work with his wife, with his kids, and his wife had amazing things to say about her husband. She would always say he's an amazing husband. He's an amazing dad. He's a spiritual leader. He's so inspiring. Then I got to work with his kids over the summer. Same thing. His adolescent kids would speak so highly of him. And they were always just super proud of their dad and how amazing of a person he was. And he was charitable and inspiring. I mean, there's just adjectives anytime I asked about this guy. And so, of course, I was very curious. But every time I was working with him, I would hesitate to ask him any questions because he always had this laser beam focus and he was just working hard. So I didn't want to interrupt his flow, right? But one day I took up a leap of faith and he was doing lateral raises. And I said, everyone speaks really highly of you. What's your secret? And I remember he put his dumbbells down and he looked at me and he said, boring will make you healthy, wealthy, and happy. He picked up his dumbbells and he continued exercising. And I said, wait a second. What do you mean by that? And he said, JT, we live in a society of instant gratification. People want to leave a legacy behind, but yet they're not willing to be consistent or stay at a job or at a career or in a marriage or keep a workout or a diet long enough to see results, simply because they get bored after a while and they quit and they move on to the next thing. And they really never get to a level of mastery or a level of really overcoming that boredom that ultimately leads to satisfaction. And I was like, wow. He said, yep. He said, people quit their diet too quickly. People quit their workouts too quickly. He says, people are quick to get divorced. He says, people just quit because they get bored. He said, and I made a decision early on in life that I wanted to be efficient versus being entertained. And it blew me away because, I'm in this industry and where I'm keeping people accountable to their nutrition, to their lifestyle. And one of the common things that I often hear with people that are doing really, really well in their programs, I'm talking about people that in the course of 6 weeks have lost 20 pounds. They've quenched their addictions to food. They don't have the temptations. They don't have the triggers. They have energy. They're not crashing at 2 p.m. because now their nutrition is dialed in. They're satiated, meaning that they're never hungry. And yet I often hear the B word, bored. My question is, what are you bored of? Generally, the answer to that is, well, I'm just bored. And, I'm just bored of eating the same thing over and over again. Now, I think I need to clarify that inside of our program, we don't demonize any food group, right? We believe that all foods are made by God and they're good for you, but there are certain foods that for a period of time, a season of time, we put aside so that we can make some strides in the direction of quenching the addiction, meaning that we believe that people are not, big boned or have hormone issues or have dysfunctionalities. Of course, these things are true, but very seldom do you see people that truly are not losing weight because of these issues. A lot of times what happens is most of us, I believe 99.9% of us are addicted to insulin yielding foods. These foods that spike a ton of insulin, secrete dopamine. Dopamine, that neuroreceptor, is associated with well-being. And of course, anytime we feel friction, adversity, or something is not going our way, we have a tendency to reach for that thing that's going to provide us with a couple of seconds of relief. When I say a couple of seconds, you're putting that thing in your mouth, you're chewing it, and once it goes down your palate, it's gone, and all you keep is the calories. And yet most of us are addicted to that, and we're reaching for these things in moments of adversity. And so naturally what happens is when we start utilizing those foods for entertainment, this is why people oftentimes speak about food in terms of convenience and entertainment, right? If it's convenient and if it tastes good. If it's convenient and it tastes good. Rarely do you hear people say, let me get something that is going to nourish me, right? Keep me alert, give me mental acuity, give me creativity, allow me to, make the most of my day. People aren't thinking in terms of nourishment. They're thinking about in terms of entertainment. So naturally, when you remove these entertaining foods, what happens is you remove that crutch, AKA their idol. And let me tell you that is an emotional situation for most people. People will call me a couple of weeks in and say, things are going well. I like the way I feel, but I have this feeling of sort of anguish, as if I had lost something, almost a feeling of breaking up with a girlfriend or a boyfriend when I was in my teenage years. And it's funny because that's exactly what's happening. You're breaking up with those idols and those crutches. And what happens is people get bored. And we have great success rates. We say that 8 out of 10 people that come through a program are incredibly successful, but there are 2 people in that equation that generally come up with the word bored. And they get bored not because what they're eating is boring, because there's variety, but instead because the foods that were entertaining them are no longer there. And they're just missing that thing, right? They're missing that jolt of excitement that they were getting through the ice cream or the cookies or the rice or the breads or the pastas or all those things that spike a ton of insulin. So it's really interesting because it's not that the word boredom in its natural definition, right? Which boredom means a state of not being entertained, right? Which is interesting when you utilize that in terms of food, right? We should be using food in terms of nourishment, but most of us are using it in terms of nutrition. So I'm here to say, like my client said to me, bored will make you healthy, wealthy, and ultimately happy, which truly happiness is just fulfillment. I think oftentimes we chase an emotion. That happy is an emotion. Emotions are fleeting, but what we're really, really seeking is that fulfillment, that peace. And this is what being able to be bored and being able to stick to something long enough to see the results, to see the outcome, and to be efficient versus being entertained, we can just get so much from that. I mean, we can talk about this in any particular realm, whether it's your marriage, your parenting, your career. Things are, you show up every day and you got to do what you got to do. And if you persist in those things and you do it well and you do it with the best spirit, then you're going to yield benefits and fruits in those things, especially when it comes to nutrition, because nutrition means that you need to actually discipline yourself. You need to lean away, right? You need to lean on nourishing foods, and you need to walk away from things that may taste good in the moment, but ultimately are not going to be good for you. So I want to leave it at this. Whatever it is that you apply this to, right? Bored, the ability to stick with things long enough will make you healthy, wealthy, and happy. And there's nothing that can replace that, my friend. Oftentimes we're looking for the pill, the fad diet, the fasting, the thing that's going to help us cut corners. And the truth is that everything of value is going to be difficult. Everything is that has value is going to be challenging. You're going to have to win with blood, sweat, and tears. Whatever it is that you're looking to pursue, whatever goal you're looking to bring to fruition, the ability to be okay with being bored and being consistent in the face of boredom, right? For the sake of being efficient versus being entertained. I hope you got something out of this podcast. I hope you really think about that. Hopefully you'll apply it to one of these areas, my friend. And when you're feeling that sensation of boredom, remember what that client said to me that day, and just let that resonate in your mind. Let that stay with you, that boredom. if you do it well, will make you healthy, wealthy, and happy. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. This is an Idle Call Food. I'm your host, JT Tapias, and today we spoke about the benefits of being able to stick through things no matter how boring they are, as long as you're being efficient. I hope you enjoyed it. As I always say, I hope you put it to action, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Ciao, ciao.